Hello, my name is Ali, and welcome to my channel. We are back with Mystic Destiny Serendipity Veil's Takumi's route. Let's go. That I'm chickening out of the whole friends who have slept together multiple times and need to figure out what they are thing. But I don't feel like I can face him right now because I'm confused too. Ooh, that sounds creepy. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but ooh. Terin Dokra. I gather my clothes and try to get dressed without making too much noise. Oh, that sounds creepy. I don't like that. Terin Dokra. That's what they're creepy as. Ugh. Shadowy figures flicker into my view, just in the corner of my eye, but I continue to get ready. It's still here. The side effects of my death magic still haven't disappeared. Not that I expected it to. But because there isn't exactly anything I can do about the creepy shadows, I've just gotten used to them. I finish getting dressed and quietly sneak out of Takumi's apartment. Since getting back from Takumi's, I've been trying to do some more research on death magic. With several books spread out on the dining room table, I take notes on what seems to be relevant. I try to ignore the occasional whispers that like to make themselves known from time to time. I hear the front door open and close, and when I look up from my notes, I see Taku and Aurelia walk in. She's with him. Good. Relieved at the sight of the two, I finally realize how worried I was that he might not show up if I left alone again. Aurelia's eyes meet mine. Naoki contacted me. He said he'll be over here in about 5 minutes to give the potion to Takumi. Oh, that's sooner than I expected. I thought it would take at least a few days, but now works fast. That's good. I glance at Takumi, who gives me a little smile, and I feel my face heat up. Aurelia stares at us wordlessly. Before anyone can say more, there's a knock on the door. She goes to answer it, and of course, it's Naoki. Perfectly on time. The two stare at one another for a moment. Even from here, I can feel an odd tension in the air between them. Takumi and I look at each other for answers, but it doesn't seem like either one of us knows what's going on. As if snapping out of a trance, Aurelia finally moves out of the way. Come in. Now nods slightly and briskly walks in. He pulls out a small vial out of his jacket pocket. All right. Sit down at the table. Takumi eyes the vial in Naoki's hand before obeying the instruction without comment. I sit down as well. I grip at the table as I watch Nao hand Taku the potion vial. Remember to breathe, Munchie. Aurelia stands behind me. She puts a hand on my shoulder and I put mine on hers. Takumi examines the vial in his hand. This better not kill me or I'll kick your ass. And then he downs it. Seconds pass with no reaction at all. Takumi opens his mouth to say something, but he freezes. What? Ah! Naoki stands next to him and continues to calmly watch. Taku grabs his head and groans in pain. He bites down on his lip as tears form in his eyes. His whole body shakes. I move to get up to rush to his side, but Aurelia holds me back with a firm grip on my shoulder. Oh my god, what? Takumi? Again, I try to run to him, but Naoki grips onto my other shoulder so that I'm left struggling against both of them. Finally, Taku passes out, slumped forward, though I'm not sure he isn't dead. Takumi! Petrified by the very thought that he might be dead, I give up struggling. Please, please. Aurelia looks at Nao. Check on him. Nao obeys and leans down to examine Takumi. A few moments pass and Aurelia begins to look impatient. She opens her mouth to say something again when suddenly Takumi lifts his head. Leaning forward with elbows still resting on his thighs, he opens his eyes. He stares blankly into space ahead of him as tears stream down his face without pause. I take the opportunity to get rid of Naoki and Aurelia's grip and rush to him. Takumi holds his head when I bend down in front of him. I search his eyes. Takumi, are you okay? He only shakes his head. Takumi? He lifts his head up and looks straight at me. In between gasps of breath, he manages to slowly speak. His voice sounds strained and tired. That woman, black hair. It was your mother. I knew it. I knew it. A gasp escapes my lips, but it barely registers in my mind. What? Her?
Was your mother the sorceress you mentioned? The one that passed down her powers to you?
I can hear him, but my body refuses to let me respond. I can't so much as nod.
She was.
Aurelia answers for me. Even in my frozen state, I feel grateful.
I see. Then the coma that was placed upon the detective has to be a magically induced spell. Since no one could figure out what it was, it would be reasonable to assume that it was a very obscure one. Perhaps even one that only someone who had to let some chaos manipulation abilities could use.
Immediately now turns around and heads for the door. Where are you going? Now stops and turns to face her.
I'm going to do some research to find out what spell it might be. I'm interested to see if it's possible to wake the detective up. It would mean my deduction is correct and the mystery would be solved.
A loud thump at the door makes everyone pause. Another loud thump. Oh, jeez. No one has time to say anything. The front door is kicked off its hinges and falls open. Now only stares at it as it falls a few centimeters away from him and hits the ground with a loud thump. Oh, jeez. Standing on the other side is a vampire. Oh, yay. But the real surprise is when Azucena del Bosque steps around him. She leisurely strolls into the apartment, evaluating everyone with her eyes. Azucena stops in front of Naoki, arms crossed. She leans in towards him until she's right in front of his face. Your plan sounds solid, but I can't let you wake up Detective R.I. There's no need for him to ever wake up again. Now just stares coldly back at her. Takumi moves in a flash. He springs out of his chair, but that's as far as he gets before Aurelia places a hand on his chest. Her eyes never stray from intruders, however. Azucena looks at Takumi. A smart decision, especially when you don't know what's at stake. Turning back to Naoki, a positively evil smile comes over Azucena's face. Naoki, you and your brother have always been so close, haven't you? Azucena laughs. You really should take better care of my pet in the future. Oh, geez. Holy crap. What'd she do to him? Without looking away from us, Azucena signals her lackeys and they drag in a severely beaten up June. They unceremoniously dump him at her feet and one of them stomps on his chest. Oh, geez. June quietly grits his teeth but doesn't make a sound. Azucena turns to Naoki, who looks like he's barely restraining his anger. The man who tied up my loose ends 3 years ago will help tie up the last one. A kind of poetic end to a long, drawn-out story, right? If you should decide to resist or wake up the detective after all, then after you attend your brother's funeral, you can join him in death. Vampires enjoy sleeping in coffins, right? A deep, intense hatred burns in Naoki's eyes, but he doesn't answer her to make any other moves. Azu smirks at him, and then she looks at me. The girl is coming with me. Taku tries to move, ignoring Aurelia, but Azucena motions to one of her lackeys, and one of them dashes forward to me. The next thing I know, the vampire grabs me with one arm around my waist and wraps a hand around my throat, squeezing painfully. As much as it hurts, though, as much as I'm scared, I'm even angrier that they're using me against Takumi. I'm supposed to be his partner, not some damsel in distress. Damsel in distress. But when I manage to turn my watering eyes towards Takumi, I can see he's just as pissed. He shoves Aurelia away and lunges for the vampire holding me. Chaos erupts in the room the moment Takumi pulls out a dagger. June breaks the leg of the vampire who was holding him down as he screams in pain, now speeds over in a blur. He pushes the vampire, sending him flying into the wall. He slumps down with a loud groan. Aurelia hops into the air, her wings fluttering behind her, and delivers a swift kick to the vampire holding me. She grabs my wrist, pulling me away from the vampire, and we step back just in time to avoid Takumi's dagger sinking into his stomach. Ugh! Takumi follows up with several more stabs, and I can't help but cringe, still unused to the raw violence. I have to say, as the stories go on, it's been more and more violent, if you've noticed. I don't know if it's like, who was it? With Show's route, yeah, he gets killed, but I mean, it's not, I don't know. I don't feel like it's as bad as these ones. Like with Shinji pulling out the heart. Oh, God. If you didn't see those other episodes, well, those were spoilers right there. So behind Takumi, I see another vampire charge forward, knife in hand. Oh, no, you fucking don't. I push my hands outwards to create a shield around Takumi, but the vampire suddenly screams in pain. The knife falls from his hand as he drops to his knees with a gurgle. Ugh. Blood drips from his mouth, ears, and nose, and he just drops to the ground, completely still. Oh my God. What did I do? Oh God, no. I can feel myself shaking. I can't take my eyes off the motionless form on the ground. Is he? I hear a metallic click right next to my head, and the feeling of cold metal suddenly against my temple. In this moment of stillness and absolute fear, my eyes drift to Takumi. I see that he's grappling with the original vampire that held me. He's lying on the floor, on his back, a knee in the vampire's stomach as he relentlessly stabbing him. I know he's doing it to survive, but it's an image I don't think I'll ever forget. Tossing the vampire off of him, he rolls to his knees. He's about to get up when he looks at me. Then, at the gun pointed right at me. And finally, at Azucena behind me. No. There are some questions you should be asking yourself right now. Should yet another person die because of you? Is your comatose brother really worth your pretty little girlfriend dying? Will you make yet another mistake due to your own recklessness? Can you live with the guilt of this one? Taku is visibly thrown off and stares at her with wide eyes, trembling. Even in this tense situation, I find myself wondering what Azucena's talking about. Mistake? Does she know about something in Takumi's past? He doesn't react, even as the other vampire rips his dagger away from him and throws it. Then he jerks Takumi's arms behind his back, holding them there. And Takumi just lets him. I'm scared, terrified out of my mind, but I try not to let it show. I feel like my smile comes out as a grimace instead. Taku, remember, I'm immortal, so there's nothing she can do to me. Azucena practically whispers, all traces of her smile gone. I am so terribly curious to see what will happen to you then. A sort of primal fear grips me as I realize that I am prey in the clutches of a predator. She looks at Taku. Hey, kid. Is it true? Is even your girlfriend more powerful than you? Something flashes in Takumi's eyes, and I swear I see him twitch. He tilts his head, his eyes wide and uneven. Why don't you find out? With that, he headbutts the vampire behind him, breaking free of his grip. He lunges for Azucena. But as he does, I hear an extremely loud bang go off. I feel cold, strange. Everything shifts and turns around me. Oh, I'm falling. I can't hear anything, just a high-pitched sound ringing through my head. There's something warm flowing down my ear. I want to reach up to touch my face. There's an obscenely searing pain in my head, my face, or maybe everywhere. It hurts so much, it seems to overtake everything. But I don't reach up. I don't move. Not really. All I can do is fall, and all I can see is the abject horror in Takumi's eyes as he reaches out to me. Everything feels extremely far away, like the world is fraying at the edges, slowly disappearing. Oh, I must have been shot. No, Takumi will be sad. He'll blame himself. It's too hard to think. The darkness swallows me as I feel my consciousness slip away. I feel my body hit the ground and then... Oh, shit. Chapter 11, Daywalker. I'm going to let you guys go here. I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!